Welcome to Kind Animal Services. My name is Kelsey and I am the founder and lead trainer here at CAS. This video and topic is going to be about introducing a new puppy, and I'm talking like a small puppy, into a home that already has a resident dog or a few resident dogs. There's a huge misunderstanding that we can just go out, get a puppy, and bring it into our home, and all's going to be well and dandy. But it's not. There's a sad reality that a lot of pet owners tend to face when they bring home their brand new puppy. And the sad part, or the worst part of it, is that that puppy is then subjected to aggressive behavior right out of the gate in their new home. The puppy is already stressed from leaving its mom. The puppy is already stressed from being uprooted into a new environment, being placed with other dogs or other animals, new smells, new sights, new sounds. And then on top of that, the puppy then gets attacked. Why does this happen? Well, the thing is that most resident dogs, or I guess it's not most resident dogs, but there is a common case of resident dogs that really don't do well with small puppies. So here's the catch. You really shouldn't, if you're gonna go out, you're planning on getting a puppy, in a lot of cases, you really need to plan ahead and plan to separate those dogs from the puppy until the puppy is about 5 months old. Some can be established into the rest of the pack around 4 months old, with the idea that they'll be separated kind of intermittently so that the dog isn't, or the puppy isn't always with those other dogs. If you went out and got a dog or a puppy for your dog that you already have, your resident dog, I really, really strongly suggest against getting a dog for your current dog. Still requires a bunch of attention from you, and now you have double the work, double the trouble. Any bad habits are going to be imprinted or kind of taken on by the dog or your new puppy. So there's a lot of reasons why you really need to consider what you're doing prior to you taking on a new puppy. All right, you're bringing home a brand new puppy, but you want to be prepared. First thing is, set that puppy up with its own environment, a space away from the other dogs. In a lot of cases, you can have that be in a fence type barrier, a baby gate, where your current resident dogs are allowed to go face to face or nose to nose through a barrier and approach and meet that puppy. I would say a minimum of a week, if not more than like 3 weeks of separation when you first bring that puppy home. Why? Because I think that it's incredibly important that that puppy bonds with you as the person and gets established into a routine within the home to create security, to make sure that that puppy is healthy, that they are not going to exhibit any fear behaviors when they greet or eventually get put in with the other dogs. There's another really, really, really strong instinctive behavior that happens in adult dogs. And this can be male or female, although I think more males probably do it than females, but that's just a ballpark. Or like 50% that your dog, your resident dog, adult dog, is going to get along with a small puppy. The other problem is if your resident dog is not good with puppies, which is very common, then you're going to find or put your puppy in a situation that you're going to be trying to deal with and trying to get rid of for almost the rest of that puppy's life. A traumatic experience at a young age could really make or break your puppy's confidence and ability to socially interact with other dogs. So we don't want that. We don't want to set your puppy up for failure right out of the gate. As I've mentioned, separating the puppy away from the other dogs so that your resident dogs are not going to be put in a position where they have to all of a sudden deal with this new stimuli in the house. So that's the other thing to consider, is that your resident dog needs to learn the new routine that's going to be established with the additional family member that is now joining the group. Because a lot of your focus and attention is going to be on that puppy, because they're a puppy and they're adorable and we all love puppies and there's so much training that goes into it, so much focus and attention and time that you need to take out of your day that you would maybe have normally done with your mature dog is now going to have to be done with that puppy. And almost more so when they're puppies, right? Because there's so much potty training and dealing with, like, you don't have to crate train, but doing alone time training, making sure that that puppy is usually going to be eating a lot more meals than your resident dog is going to be eating. And so there's just a ton of things that are going to change in that resident dog's life and lifestyle. And until you've established a routine that works for both the puppy and the resident dogs, you need to kind of keep them separate so that they can both figure out the routines without the added problem of having to socially interact with each other. Now, again, like I said, they can still meet through a fence, they can still slowly be introduced, but that allows the puppy and the resident dog to get away from the other when they need. So that kind of protected contact is what a lot of us will call that procedure of putting a fence or a barrier up that is where the dog can meet through it. This is actually also true, side note, also true for introducing your dog to a new kitten or even a cat that you want to bring into the house. So although your dog may be okay with cats, same idea as protected contact is just really, really, really critical in those first few days. And like I said, maybe even up to a week. The idea that if something goes wrong and then you have to backtrack, it's going to slow down that process and potentially cause a lot more damage psychologically to either of those dogs or individuals that are involved in this new greeting and trying to get to know each other. This is actually also very true for when you bring a new baby home. However, there are procedures when you're bringing a baby into a home that has a resident dog. There are ways to kind of get that dog established and meet the baby prior to the baby coming home. If you have the ability to do this with your puppy, I highly recommend it. Bringing in puppy items from your puppy, if you're in contact with your breeder or in contact with the litter parents, get items that smell like the puppy, that smell like the litter, and bringing them in and doing some odor kind of desensitization for your resident dog can really make a difference. If the dog has already been smelling this odor, maybe you're going and you're doing visits, that kind of thing can just be a game changer because dogs are so scent oriented that odors make a lot of difference if you can give your dog, your resident dog, the opportunity to meet that dog without actually going nose to nose. You need to also consider what is your resident dog's history. If your resident dog has never been around a puppy before, then also do slow introductions. If you know that your resident dog may or has had issues with young puppies in the past. But I was trying to say earlier that a lot of dogs instinctively are going to dislike young puppies. So it's better to just wait until that puppy is old enough and mature enough to kind of respond to the other dog's behavior. A young puppy, they look like little rodents. And some dogs are not going to get over that until the dog is mature and older. But the thing is if you put them together too soon and you end up with this aggressive behavior, you're going to have to backtrack and the process is going to be slowed down a ton. You may have to keep those dogs separated for 6 months to a year if you don't do it within that first few weeks. All right, those are kind of my recommendations on introducing a new puppy into your home with a resident dog. Basically, separate, build routines, really do slow introductions. Keep everybody safe because you don't know what the consequence is until it's too late. So throwing your dogs together, depending on the manner in which they meet, the consequence could really be damaging. Be very careful when bringing a puppy into a home with a resident dog. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please give this a thumbs up, like, subscribe. We're going to be coming out with a lot more content, and I will be seeing you again in another video.